morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for April 19th, 2012. It is 7:05 a.m. and temperatures are already near normal for this time of year, for this morning at least, ranging from the upper 30s over portions of the Hudson River Valley to the lower 50s along the coast and throughout the Philadelphia metropolitan area. Temperatures pretty much, as I said, pretty much near normal, and you can kind of get the idea of where the cloud cover has been tonight by the temperatures. As you can see, overcast conditions over much of southeastern Pennsylvania, much of New Jersey, and the New York City metropolitan area. However, as you move further north and west closer towards the high pressure system, well, temperatures were able to fall off rather dramatically into the 30s because the skies were clear and thus radiational cooling. So basically, if you're waking up to sunny skies, it's a lot colder than what you think. But if it's overcast, well, it's actually a bit warmer. So there's a little bit of a benefit with the cloud cover for today. The cloud cover, though, is going to break up as we move forward throughout the rest of the day, with temperatures spiking into the upper 60s to lower 70s throughout the entire Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, which is pretty much near to above normal for this time of year. Near normal as you move towards portions of the Hudson River Valley and northeastern Pennsylvania, where temperatures will be in the upper 60s, and a bit above normal as you move towards the Philadelphia metropolitan area, with temperatures in the lower 70s. So let's take a look at our surface map. You can see we're pretty much in between two disturbances, two cold fronts that are impacting the eastern United States, and high pressure is sandwiched in between. This low pressure system and stationary front will shift off the east coast, and as a result, skies will start to clear by this afternoon. Now, I can't rule out an isolated shower here or there, but for the most part, dry conditions will take hold for this afternoon through tomorrow. This cold front here is going to be a key factor in the forecast for this weekend. As this cold front moves through on Saturday, keep an eye on it, because where it stalls out, well, that's where the heavy rain is going to start to become focused. And this is the disturbance that will dive into the southeast and become a cutoff upper level low and potentially produce very heavy rainfall throughout the northern mid-Atlantic. Taking a look at the latest infrared satellite picture, you can see our disturbance is starting to exit off the east coast, and skies are starting to slowly clear from west to east. You expect clearing skies by later on this morning throughout the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, with scattered cloud cover by this afternoon. Our cold front is approaching, and here's our upper level disturbance that is starting to dive to the south and east. And this disturbance is going to be very key in the forecast here, because the faster this upper level disturbance cuts off from the polar jet stream and starts to intensify, the more likely we'll have the potential for very heavy rainfall. The later the process takes in developing a cutoff low and producing that southeasterly fetch off the Atlantic, the less likely of a potential of heavy rain exists. So that's why the models are pretty much all over the place, and you're seeing on the news a variety of different forecasts, everything from scattered clouds to driving rainfall. So there's a lot of volatility in this forecast because there's a lot of uncertainty on the development of this feature here. Again, the sooner this feature develops and becomes a cutoff upper level low right around here by Saturday, the more likely we'll have heavy rain throughout the eastern United States, especially right along the coast. So let's take a look at the model guidance. Again, this is the European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website. I haven't had enough coffee this morning, apparently. Okay, so here we are for this evening. High pressure is in control. Scattered cloud cover is expected. Again, I can't rule out an isolated shower with these weak disturbances moving through. Here's our disturbance over the plains beginning to dive south by tomorrow evening. Friday evening, here we are. That disturbance is starting to dive south. You're seeing a bit of a cutoff between the polar jet stream here and this disturbance. Now here's where the key factor takes place. That cold front that you saw in the upper Midwest will be approaching the East Coast. The longer that cold front takes to get to the East Coast, the harder it is for the rainfall to basically develop over the northern Atlantic. So here we are by Sunday, and this is the key factor here by Saturday night. In previous model guidance, this upper level low was a lot further north, and you start to see a negatively tilted trough, and the cold front was starting to stall out. Now, as I've been mentioning the past few days, if this upper level development shifts further south than what was being forecasted, then you end up with a completely different forecast. You end up with less rainfall than what was forecasted, and instead of having 3-4 inches of rain, you end up with maybe a half an inch of rain, maybe a quarter of an inch of rain, and the storm is not as intense as what was earlier forecasted in terms of rainfall potential. So this key factor here is extremely important. In the GFS model guidance, the American model guidance, this doesn't even develop. This upper level disturbance remains rather weak, heads out into the Atlantic, and really not much of any type of weather development, any type of storm development really unfolds. So this disturbance is extremely important, and we'll get a lot more data on this disturbance as we move into the 0Z model guidance. The model guidance for tonight should tell us a lot about this storm. Moving forward onto Sunday, you can see that the European model guidance does eventually consolidate this storm into one negatively tilted trough that drives moisture right into the east coast. But notice this time the upper level winds are focused more south to north rather than southeast to northwest, which means your heaviest rainfall is focused in New England. Still a good heavy rainfall along the immediate coast from, let's say, right along the Delaware River on east through the New York City metropolitan area, with periods of heavy rainfall ranging anywhere from 1 to 3 inches. Again, if this is delayed, then everything shifts east, and the northern mid-Atlantic sees almost nothing out of this event. So there's a lot of volatility here in this forecast and the development of this storm. So I wouldn't cancel your plans yet if you have plans for Sunday to go out. Just be mindful that there is potential for very heavy rainfall here. Not a complete washout, but waves of moderate to heavy rainfall. And just use some, preparedness. If you have plans for outdoor activities, going to a Met game, whatever, make secondary plans in case you have to stay indoors. Like going to the movies or going to a museum or something of that nature. This storm's going to lift out, and I think by Tuesday and Wednesday we see clearing conditions. Temperatures start to moderate back towards normal. With this rainstorm, remember, the idea here is overcast skies, clouds all over the place, scattered showers, drizzle, just a raw, damp day with an easterly wind. So temperatures are stuck in the 50s to lower 60s, which is below normal for this time of year. But if the storm is again further east, then we end up with much warmer temperatures. So by Tuesday and Wednesday, with the storm exiting, temperatures rebound nicely near normal to the mid to upper 60s, pushing into the lower 70s. And then as we move in towards the end of the week, the ridge really starts to take hold, and look for next weekend a rapid warm up in temperatures into the 70s and 80s. Summer conditions return once again with very mild and very comfortable weather conditions for next weekend. Well, that is your forecast discussion for today. Again, I hope to have a lot more information and a more definitive forecast on this rainstorm by tomorrow, especially for the Sunday weather pattern. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.